But I watched CNN today, and they had the presidential debate, the US presidential debate. And maybe some of you saw it, and if you did, well, it was amazing. It was amazing on every level. But what was especially amazing was afterward, they went to the panel of assembled Democratic operatives posing as journalists, and all of them were like shocked to discover that Joe Biden has dementia, like they couldn't believe it. What? Oh my gosh, he's non-compos mentis. No way. Are you serious? And I'm thinking to myself, what year is it, 2024-ish? Middle-aged people identify with that? Okay, 2024, people are saying. It was 2019 that I heard from a friend of mine who was friends with his sister, Val, that the family was very upset because Joe has dementia and he's running for president. And, well, I said this on TV, by the way, at the time, and was denounced as a racist or something. I mean, everything, in the United States, like, that's just like the all-purpose term for shut up. Racist! It's like, I think he's white. Shut up, racist! Okay, anyway, but his sister had told a friend of mine, like an actual friend of mine, one of my neighbors, that the family was upset and that his son, sadly, had passed away. By the way, not in Iraq fighting a war for freedom, but of cancer. I don't think he's aware of that. But sad, and that the family was convinced he needed to kind of get it out of his system by running for president, but of course no one's gonna like make Joe Biden the nominee because we had Pete Buttigieg for that. Who's, now it's a joke, but at the time they were like, people are gonna love Pete Buttigieg. He's incompetent, but he's gay. Great. And then people were like, what? No. So they had to go to Joe Biden, and he actually became the nominee and then somehow became the president. But it was obvious the whole time that he had no idea where he was, and that it was cruel, and that his grasping, horrible wife, who like poses as a doctor, was pushing this so she could go to state dinners. And everyone knew this. Like, there's not one person who didn't know this. And when you travel outside our borders, you know, people are always so nice about other people's countries. Like, they don't attack you to your face. And obviously, I'm the most American person who's ever lived, and I love my country, and I'm going to die there, and would die for it without even thinking. That's how much, and I mean that. So everyone wants to be polite to you about your country. And when, like, if I ever went to New Zealand, I wouldn't mention Jacinda Ardern, or what, you know what I mean? That would be rude. I wouldn't say, like, oh, that retarded girl with the teeth, is she here? You know, I wouldn't. That would be, no, I wouldn't. Because that's not something a guest says, right? You're in someone else's, you know, you're having dinner at someone's house, and like the food is appalling. Oh, it's so good, you know what I mean? But even given the high standards of politeness offered to foreigners in foreign lands, everywhere I've traveled around the world for the past 4 years, and it's been a lot of countries, people are like, so Joe Biden, how is he? You're like, well, I think he has dementia. He certainly does. Like, everybody knows, because they have, I can't remember, the internet. And it has video on it, and it takes about 15 seconds to determine the leader of the most powerful country in the world with this mass nuclear arsenal involved in 2 simultaneous wars doesn't know what day it is. And that's really scary. But if you come to the United States and you're in the media envelope, this like fake world created by these disinformation specialists who run our media, that's never mentioned at all. It's like everyone it would literally be like everyone pretending Jacinda Ardern is like a legitimate person, which they may have done in New Zealand. I wasn't there. You know what I mean? Where people say, oh, that's the prime minister. What? It's ridiculous, actually. But everyone sort of plays along like it's not happening. And the whole Emperor's New Clothes story is based on this phenomenon, which is a very human phenomenon. But for the media today to be like, wow, we just got the diagnosis. This is shocking. He can't run for president. Kind of, either they're really stupid, like too stupid to breathe unaided, or they're liars. They're truly dishonest. They're hiding the obvious from you. And I'm betting on the latter, but even more amazing was the response to that. So remember that our media are not just observers of reality or describers of reality, people who bring you the story first on the scene. No, they're the gatekeepers to reality. You don't know what the world looks like except through them. Like, they are the pipeline through which all information flows. And in the United States, they're political actors. They work for a political party, in effect, if not officially. Like they all work for the Democratic Party. And the Democratic Party, and I think this is probably true here, has one mission this season, which is to save democracy, which is gravely in peril, you may have heard, by Vladimir Putin, who is ending our democracy, somehow. And don't laugh. What are you Putin lovers? Anyway, yeah, okay. That's fine, I don't care. It's not my president. You can love anyone you want, as far as I'm concerned, because I believe in, the autonomy of man. You can have your own opinions. But the point is, in my country, and probably here, the self-described mission of everyone in the media is to save democracy, and democracy, simply defined, is the idea that the people own their country. It's their country, and they hire people to represent them. But fundamentally, they are shareholders in this enterprise. They're owners. They're not serfs. They're not renting it. This isn't a rental car. It's your car. You change the oil in it because it belongs to you, right? And that's what citizenship is. And so in a democracy, you don't have to do everything the majority wants every moment, but over time, if what you're doing bears no relationship to what the majority wants, then you know for a fact it's not democracy. And you can try to convince people of things. You can say, well, you want this, but I think you should want that, and here's why. But you can't ignore them, or else it's not a democracy. It's an oligarchy. And you see yourself as the owner, and they're the tenants, the serfs, the renters, and you can just do whatever you want, and it doesn't matter what they think. So that's the most anti-democratic attitude possible, right? That attitude is the enemy of democracy. And all of a sudden today, these defenders of democracy are like, well, obviously Joe Biden's got Alzheimer's, and he's super unpopular, he can't win, therefore we need to replace him. And it's like, wait a second, he was already elected in the biggest landslide ever. I don't know if you knew that. Like, he got over 1 billion votes, in our country. He got more votes than Black Jesus. And because he's just so unbelievably popular, people just love Joe Biden. It was a landslide, literally a landslide in 2020. And that gives him the authority to do whatever he wants, whether you like it or not, because so many of your neighbors voted for him. You don't know their names. But it happened, okay? It happened. It's sort of like COVID deaths. You never actually met anybody who died of it, but millions did die. Everybody voted for Joe Biden except you, so shut up. So he has this mandate, this moral mandate to do literally whatever he wants, import 30 million people illegally, and you're not allowed to say anything about it, racist. And yet, at the same time, and then Democratic primary voters, just like the other day in our system, the members of the party vote for their nominee. He's elected by his own party. People actually went to the polls, cast a ballot for him. But all of a sudden, because he might not win against the orange man, we need to take his job away from him by force and let the donors put someone in there who can beat the orange man, because that's democracy. And that made me start to think for the first time, maybe we're defining the word democracy a little differently. Maybe you've got a different understanding of what that means. Maybe you think democracy is when we do exactly what you and 8 of your friends want. That's what you think it is. Whereas I think democracy is when you do the will of the majority over time.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.